Today's cultural climate, saying the wrong thing or even daring to make a joke can get you torched faster than a Twitter thread gone viral. And that's exactly what Bill Maher has been hammering home lately. Love him or hate him, the guy has made a career out of poking holes in hypocrisy, especially the kind that hides behind hashtags and fake outrage. And this time, he's coming for the self-appointed guardians of morality, Hollywood's woke elites, Twitter mobs, and college students who think being triggered is a personality trait. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Ma decided he's had enough of Hollywood's fake resistance, the constant virtue signaling, and the never-ending cancel culture witch hunts. So instead of just ranting, he thought, why not make an award show? Not for the usual crowd that gets Oscars for crying on camera or Golden Globes for pretending they care about climate change on the red carpet. No, this one would be for the rare few who actually stood up to the mob. The ones who didn't delete their tweets, didn't bend the knee, and didn't beg for forgiveness just to stay relevant, right? But think about it. Isn't that what we're missing? Real courage? Real backbone? Not the kind that gets you applause at the Vanity Fair after party, but the kind that makes people actually respect you. Take J.K. Rowling, for instance. This is a woman who literally created a cultural phenomenon, sold millions of books, built a billion-dollar empire, and inspired an entire generation to read. And yet, what is she now? Public enemy number one of the woke mob. Why? Because she had the audacity to suggest that maybe, just maybe, being a woman is more than lipstick and pronouns. Shocking, right? Suddenly, the same people who grew up idolizing Harry Potter turned around and declared the woman who wrote it a bigot. Cancel her. Burn the books. Delete her existence from history. It's like living in a modern-day witch trial, except now the torches come in the form of hashtags and think pieces. And Rowling isn't alone. Elon Musk was once Silicon Valley's darling, the genius who was going to save the planet with electric cars and rockets. The moment he dared say something that wasn't pre-approved by the progressive playbook, boom, overnight villain, Joe Rogan. Same thing. He was the cool, edgy podcaster progressives loved until he asked the wrong questions, and suddenly he's some sort of dangerous misinformation peddler. And then, of course, there's Ma himself, a liberal firebrand for decades, but now he's considered too problematic by the very crowd that used to cheer him on. What's the pattern here? It's loyalty. As long as you conform, the second you deviate, you're out. That's the real brutality of cancel culture. It doesn't care what you've done, who you've helped, or what you stand for. Step out of line even once, and they'll treat you like you never existed. So Maher said enough. Let's start celebrating the people who actually show a little courage, and the first award he hands out to Martha Pollack, president of Cornell University. Now, if you've been paying attention to college campuses lately, you know they've basically become daycare centers for adults. Students want trigger warnings before lectures. As if college, the place you're supposed to go to expand your mind, is suddenly too dangerous for ideas. Imagine that. You pay $70,000 a year to avoid discomfort. But Martha Pollack wasn't having it. Students demanded warnings, and she flat out said no. No new dean of sensitivity, no safe space for every uncomfortable thought, just no colleges for learning, not coddling. And you know what? That one word, no, is more courageous than half the Hollywood speeches we've heard in the past decade. And Maher nails it. If more universities had that kind of backbone, we'd be raising leaders instead of fragile ideologues who collapse at the slightest challenge. Think about it. This generation prides itself on being edgy, liberated, unapologetically bold. They'll post the most outrageous, degrading stuff on TikTok for likes. But if you say something that doesn't fit the script, outrage, tears, demands for cancellation, how do you reconcile that? Next up, Trader Joe's. And oh man, this one was hilarious. For years, Trader Joe's has been selling quirky products with names like Trader Jose's for their beer. No one cared. Nobody was offended. But then one teenager on Twitter decided, hey, that's racist. Suddenly, there's a petition. The mob is ready. Everyone expects Trader Joe's to fold, issue a long apology, and maybe rename it Beverage from unspecified region.
And a sense of humor and released this statement. We disagree that any of these labels are racist, and we do not make decisions based on petitions. You see how easy it is? So to the home of the 19-cent banana, here, have some nuts.
No, they didn't. They said, fuck off, you oversensitive little. But Trader Joe's, they didn't play the game. They told the mob, no, these labels aren't racist. We're not changing them. We don't make decisions based on petitions might drop. And guess what? Nothing happened. Customers didn't stop shopping there. The brand didn't collapse. The mob screamed for about 48 hours and then moved on.
Like there's a long list of liberal celebrities who swear they'll go if a Republican is elected, and no one ever does. Miley Cyrus once said, I am moving if Trump is my president. I don't say things I don't mean. Here she is looking miserable, having to endure America at the Grammys last Sunday. I guess she.
And that right there is the lesson. Cancel culture has no real power unless you hand it to them. If you stand your ground for just a couple of days, their outrage fizzles out because they've already found the next problem to scream about. That's what Maher's been saying all along. Stop apologizing. Stop graveling. Stop letting people weaponize fake outrage to control you. Because at the end of the day, the mob doesn't want an apology. They want submission. And once you give it to them, they'll just keep demanding more. Now, Ma didn't stop at universities and supermarkets. He turned his sights on Hollywood itself. And let's be real, Hollywood is ground zero for virtue signaling. This is the same crowd that swore they'd leave America if Trump became president. Remember that? Miley Cyrus, George Lopez, Eddie Griffin, all promising to pack up and go. Yet 4 years of Trump went by. And guess what? They're still here. Still sipping champagne in Beverly Hills, still walking red carpets, still cashing checks, not a moving truck in sight.
In 2016, Eddie Griffin said, if Trump wins, I'm moving to Africa. Apparently very slowly, because in Trump's 4 years, he only got as far as Van Nuys. George Lopez once said that if Trump won, he won't have to worry about immigration. We'll all go back. George Lopez still here.
It's all performance. Empty words for clout. Hollywood celebrities talk about courage, resistance, and morality. But the second their careers or bank accounts are on the line, those convictions vanish. These aren't thought leaders. They're entertainers. They're compass points wherever the applause is loudest. And Ma drove that point home with the perfect example. Comedy. Comedy has always thrived on pushing boundaries. It's supposed to make you uncomfortable. That's literally the point.
This next
Pell, Kevin Hart, Joe Rogan, even Rob Schneider. Comedians who dared to joke about the wrong thing, suddenly treated like criminals. And yet, comedy is one of the few places left where truth still sneaks out. Because behind every offensive joke, there's usually a reality people are too scared to say out loud. Maher pointed out Ben Stiller in his film Tropic Thunder, a movie that's been attacked by scolds for years. And what did Stiller do? He said, I make no apologies. I'm proud of it. That's it. And guess what? His career didn't end. He still gets commercials. He still works. He's fine. Because the mob is only as scary as you let them be. And that's Mars's ultimate point. Cancel culture is smoke and mirrors. A loud, angry, shallow storm that passes in a day or two. If you have the guts to stand your ground, you'll be fine. But if you fold, if you bow down, if you start apologizing for things that don't even need apologizing for, that's when you lose. So when Ma roasted Hollywood, it wasn't just for laughs. It was a reality check. Stop pretending celebrities are moral authorities. Stop giving cancel culture power it doesn't actually have. Look at Martha Pollack. Look at Trader Joe's. Look at Ben Stiller. Resistance works. Courage pays off. And if there's one thing we desperately need right now, it's people willing to stop bowing and start standing. Because here's the truth. Defiance isn't dangerous. It's necessary. And if we lose that, we lose comedy. We lose free thought. And we lose common sense. So what do you guys think? Is Ma right? That cancel culture only has as much power as we give it.